Good morning, everybody. As the expression goes, better late than never. Thanks for joining the Today in AZ After Show, starting promptly at 7:34. We had some technical issues the first time around. But
Wednesdays are weird.
Yeah, they are. The first 2 minutes of the show, though, which you didn't get to see and will never get to see, were fantastic.
Yes.
Probably the smoothest we've ever had.
Record breaking.
So now we're going to muck it all up again. Paul, Rachel, Vanessa, and Kristen. Let's get right to our topic, because now we have about 4 less minutes to talk about it. How many of you would change something important in your past? We asked because a study by Clemson University found that 65% of us follow advice we wish we could have given to our younger selves. So this morning we're asking, if you could turn back the clock, if you could turn back time, if you could find a way, what would you tell the previous version of you?
Are we going to start?
You're not going to say it?
Vanessa, you start.
I'm going to take it back to dating.
As we often do.
Yes, we do, because that is a hot topic here on this show. I'm going to say, I would tell myself, don't waste your time. Don't stress over the boys that you did back then, because now it's not, you don't even think about them, and it's not worth it. And I spent so many years dealing with drama and things when you were younger, and you thought it was going to be the end of the world if you guys broke up, and that was it. And really, no, I don't even care what goes on with those two anymore. You know what I mean? It's
you've got specific
I have two. That gave me a lot of drama.
We all do. We all can pinpoint those people.
I mean, I wish them well, and I'm glad they're doing well, but just back then it was just so much, and I'm like, who cares anymore? So just, if you are younger right now and you're dealing with that, just seriously, you'll be fine, move on, and better things are ahead.
Turn the page.
Yes.
What about you, Kristen?
I would definitely say to my younger self to find meaningful hobbies earlier, because I know exactly what I like to do with my time now. You guys know I love adventure, I love hiking, I love rock climbing, anything that gets me outside. When I was younger, I really did what other people wanted to do, and I would end up, shopping or doing stuff that isn't actually, I hate shopping. It's doing stuff that wasn't actually fulfilling, and it was just because it's what everyone else was doing. And now that I'm older, I really wish I would have started my hobbies younger. And even seeing the little girl that's on the Today Show, who's the youngest climber ever to climb El Capitan, I wish that I would have found things that I love to do like that when I was younger. I wish I would have stuck to some more things and been more committed to figuring out what it is that makes me happy.
It's good.
Yeah, that is a good one. I think mine would be more that, especially when you're kind of high school, college age, you just think everything's life or death. And if you don't make the right decision, it's just the worst thing in the world. So I would tell probably still today, lighten up, don't worry about it. Everything's going to work out. It's fine. You don't want to peak in high school, so just settle in and wait for the better things to come ahead.
Love that.
I mentioned this on the show. My dad has told me before, you can't live your life in fear. And I think that plays into your point about decision making. You feel like every misstep is going to be the one that ends you. You know what I mean? And life's not really like that. It's a long road.
Fortunately not.
And you gotta treat it as if every decision is just a very small bump on the road. You look back at decisions you've made and how many of them actually made a significant difference in your life. Not very many, honestly.
Well, that's why people love a good comeback story. We saw Robert Downey Jr. on our morning show today. You think about Tiger Woods, and you think about these people who had, pretty catastrophic headlines and making those comebacks. And that just goes to show that, even the things that are big at the time, much less the little tiny things, they don't dictate your future. You can always get back on track.
Viewer feedback here. We'll get to that in just a second. But I've got a somewhat controversial thing I think I'd tell my former self. Don't go to college. I think I would. I pay $700 some a month right now in student loans.
Wow.
And I've been paying them since I graduated.
And you'll probably keep paying them for a while?
My degree is just sitting there collecting dust on my wall. It means nothing.
Do you think you would have gotten this job, this career without?
I started working in TV when I was 19. I worked all through college at a TV station. I made my reel with the stuff I did at that station. Nothing to do with college. It's just a title. It's just a degree.
What did you start doing at the news station?
Production. I was working behind the scenes. I ran cameras. I floor directed. I made graphics, that kind of thing. And I started doing some reporting stuff for free just to make a resume reel. And it got me my first on-air job. Nothing to do with the degree.
That's really interesting because I think that a lot of people are starting to lean towards that.
Well, I was raised in a household where it was expected. It was expected that I was going to go to a good school and get a college degree. That's the way I was brought up from infancy. And I think that a lot of people were brought up that way, and that's why we're where we're at right now with the federal student loan crisis. People were put into positions where they didn't understand why you would need to go to college. They did it because they thought they had to do it.
yeah.
And now they're being burdened
Yeah.
with debt that they can't bear.
I know quite a few people with fantastic jobs without a college degree.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Doing
Yeah.
architecture and
Yeah.
engineering type of work.
Some of the smartest
Isn't that
people I
crazy?
know don't have a college
Yeah.
degree. They don't need one.
Especially with TV, it's really a trade. It's not something that going to school benefits. I know some people who got a grad school degree in journalism. It's like, how much does that use you? I wish I had gone to law school, frankly. I think that would have been more useful in what we're doing
that would
today.
be so helpful.
So yeah, it is more, different careers that are more like a trade. You wonder, was it really worth that 4-year degree and how much you paid for it?
I feel like if I walked into my boss's office today and said, that degree that I had on the very bottom of my resume, maybe on the second page, it's not real.
Do you ever
I think
wonder
it's-
how often that happens?
So they checked here. This was the first place that I've ever.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
really?
literally
They
checked.
gave a
yeah.
call to the office and said, hey, did she graduate here?
Yeah, they checked every reference. I'm a very suspicious character. So they ran every
Yeah, right.
reference under the
Very
sun. I know, right? I was like, I didn't know they checked all that stuff, but they do.
Interesting. All right, let's get to some of the viewer responses.
a lot of them.
Jeanette says, don't grow up. It's a trap. Good advice.
I agree with that.
Anthony says, I would
That's
tell
cute.
myself, I don't just look for a job, discover your work.
A lot of people are talking about wishing that they saved money sooner, being kind of more financially savvy.
Yeah.
One person even said, I wish I would have bought my house sooner.
Yeah. Oh my
You know?
gosh.
That's
Yeah.
smart.
Tina recommends traveling young. Matt says you should golf more. Ashley weighing in with something similar to what my dad was saying. Don't be scared. Take the risk and deal with consequences later.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. Valerie says falling down is a mandatory aspect of life. Getting back up is living. I'm going to put that on a pillow.
Yeah, I like
That is some
Gotta
good
wake up to
stuff.
that every day.
See, Jennifer's with me
with
here.
you, yep.
Yeah, she said, never think you're in love at 16. It'll ruin your life. I don't think it'll ruin your life, but don't ever think you're in
Yeah.
love that young.
What about at
not
31?
that
It
big of
still
a
doesn't
deal.
feel safe.
Treacherous waters out
Still
there,
does not feel
even at
safe.
31.
Melina says get an education before marriage, not after.
Okay.
Don't want to be trapped in a relationship and have that be your bedrock.
Yeah, it is scary, to think back on when I was younger. I think that a lot of women feel this way as young women. You kind of feel like a pressure to marry someone who can take care of you. Does anyone else feel that? Like, did you ever feel that way growing up? And it took me until like my late 20s to realize like, I'm doing the thing. Like I'm
Right.
taking
Yeah.
care of myself.
for
I don't
sure.
I don't need anyone to do that for me. But yeah, definitely. I think that a lot of young women get caught in that trap for sure.
Well, the thing is that I feel like there is a clock put on women that's very stressful, and you're always told, well, you only up till this age till you have kids, and if you don't get into this window, then you're going to blow your opportunities, and things like that are changing, and
It is
times are
changing, yeah.
changing, and I've just seen where I feel that it makes you a better parent to have a little bit more life experience, a little bit more time outside in the working world as an independent person in a marriage
Right.
before you become a couple. I found that is super helpful because you come from your own wealth of knowledge. I always say, because my husband and I lived in the same town when we were in our early 20s, but we never knew each other. We didn't meet till probably 8-10 years later, and it was like if we had married then, met and married, it wouldn't have been the
Different,
same
yeah.
relationship at all. It probably wouldn't have lasted, frankly. So I feel like
Interesting.
there's no hurry, there's no clock. There's lots of science out
Yeah.
there, science that has changed that. So you know what? Just relax. Don't have that and your mother hanging over your head telling you've got so many years to make me a
Luckily,
grandmother.
My mom was not like that with me. She's like,
Yeah.
girl, do whatever, whatever makes you happy, your career and everything. But even with your career, it's never too late because I got in the news business later than everybody else. But it was my original goal, So I did everything else, radio, reality shows, everything you can think of first. And then I was like, you know what? My original goal, I haven't met it yet. So I tried out for it and here I am. So it's never too late
No.
to do anything.
Not at all.
Jennifer and Eddie both imparting financial wisdom to their previous selves. Don't ruin your credit, build credit, don't get into debt.
Yes. I should have matched that 401k sooner. In my
That's
first
good.
2 jobs, even though it was painful and I had didn't even have 2 pennies to rub together, it's like, man, when you start realizing when you match that 401k and you max it early on, it does help.
The old expression is that youth is wasted on the young, right? We don't realize how good we have it.
Yeah.
And then once your faculties start getting taken from you, you start to realize how good things were. Once your memory starts to go, once your knees give out, you know what I mean? I feel that in my 30s. I'm not as spry as I once was, and I know that it only is downhill from here. I recognize that. And like for me, like I want a wife and kids in the picket fence and Fido in the yard and all that. But like the thing about youth that I've learned as I get older, ironically, is that it's such a small window. Like science may be able to change the window that men and women have to procreate, but just in general, youth is such a short window that once it's shut, it's always shut forever. There's no reopening it back up. There are plenty of active 50, 60, 70-year-olds. I get that, but they're not, 20-year-old active people. You know what I mean? Like once it's past, it's past. So if you don't soak it in now, you're never going to have that, and you'll regret it for the rest of your life.
I think that's why I'm so obsessed with my activities, is because I do feel like it took me a long time to discover what I'm really passionate about. And now I'm like, oh, dang, like how much longer am I going to be able to hike 14 miles in one day?
Right.
I'm feeling pain from a hike that I did last week in my leg. And I'm like, I think 14 to 16 miles is my limit. And if I'm going to be backpacking, I can only do like 5 to 10 miles a day. And you think about this, I'm 31. And I would say probably past 40, that's going to be difficult for me to do that. So I have an appreciation for my body at 31 that I did not when I was younger because of that. Because you realize, like, look what my body is capable of, and oh dang, it's not going to be forever. But also as a woman, that's another thing that I wish I would have, as a younger girl and young woman, not have cared so much about is what my body looks like, and focusing more on what it can do. And I really worry about girls on social media today with the photoshopping and just the heavy emphasis on having a perfect body and perfect makeup and perfect hair. Like, it's too much, and I hope that girls can take advice from younger women or older women like me who can say, like, don't focus on what your body looks like, focus on where it can take you and what it can do and how it feels.
I'm like, enjoy the cake.
Yes, for sure.
It's okay.
But really,
Don't turn away the cake.
a donut is not going
It's not gonna kill you.
ruin your life. Enjoy food.
I wrote an extra point on that the social media sites are the modern day beauty magazines. I mean, 20 years ago, women were railing against beauty magazines and the negative influences they had on younger women and their body images too. And it goes both ways too. Like, let me just say from a male perspective that, like, if you think I don't get on Instagram and see the shirtless ripped dudes on the beach and be a little intimidated by that, you're wrong. I do. I mean, that there's a standard that I think is so tough for 99% of us to reach, but that's all you see. That's all you're fed,
I have good news, though. I just saw a study yesterday that says most women prefer the dad bod, so I mean,
if you ask
I'm not on board with that
face,
yet.
though, they don't agree.
you know what,
with
though?
it.
I will say, maybe not the dad bod, but if a guy is too in shape, I'm like, ooh, we're not having pizza together. That's not going to work for me. You know what I mean? Like, you want somebody who's fit, but I would never want to date someone who, like, doesn't know how to enjoy themselves or
they
isn't
won't
going to drink a beer with me.
That's no fun.
Like, my hobby is finding new craft beers to drink. Like, that's a weekend hobby for me. I very much enjoy that. So if it's a dad bod that's gonna get me that time with my man, like,
Let me just say, as someone with a dad bod, I know craft beers pretty well, so you might find what you're looking for in that department. All right, let's take a quick break from this discussion, get to our ICYMI. In case you missed Today in AZ this morning, you missed this. Here's today's word of the day. It's galactic. Don't forget the C. Galactic.
2 A's, 2 C's.
Go to our 12
Tough
News
one.
Facebook page, click on the sweepstakes tab. It's there on the left. You'll find the enter for your chance to win tab. You're going to have to stick in your email address. Any old email address will do, as long as you can, check the email. Because if you win, we're going to have to contact you somehow. Make sure you put in the winning word, galactic.
The winner gets 4 tickets to Disneyland plus a 2-night stay at a hotel. We will have a new word of the day every day until Friday, June 21st.
So just 2 words left. You might want to use this one, galactic.
Galactic.
I can't hear that word without thinking of the Beastie Boys song.
Sing it.
Intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic.
Rachel.
Thanks for scrubbing that earworm out of my head. Well done.
I
It's
love
been a while
that.
since I've done the robot. Elbows a
good
little
at it.
greasy.
I just wanted to say the lyrics. You wanted the full-on.
You have to. You can't do that without doing the robot.
Were you a dancer when you were?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
You
still
did
am. Business has
Yeah, still doing it.
Good. That's awesome.
She has her she does jazzercise.
No, you
keeping
don't.
my
That's
dance space.
awesome.
Stay out of my dance circle. Yes.
I love that.
Keeps you
funny.
young.
Is that something you tell your younger self to keep up the jazzercise?
Keep up the job. Don't be afraid to do the splits at any age.
There you go.
Can you do the splits?
Yes, I can.
What?
Yes.
We'll save it for
Wait,
the
you
day
just
she's
looked at
in
me like that's something that I should be able to do.
You can't do the slits. Weren't y'all like rally girls or something?
Listen, I'm a cheerleader and I do
No.
yoga 3 times a week, and I cannot do the splits.
Yeah, you got to stay limber in your old age.
Wow.
Trust me on that
Good
one.
advice.
An eyebrow raise. I don't know if you caught up on that. A couple more viewer comments before we say goodbye. Janice recommends you use sunscreen everywhere.
Yes, especially
Everywhere.
the chest and the shoulders.
Even your ears. People always
Yes.
forget about their ears too. You gotta
That
be
is
careful.
the best advice ever.
I fill my ears with sunscreen every time. Then if I need more, I just reach in.
That is
Little
disgusting.
pocket.
Pro
hole.
tip, yeah.
Britt says she wouldn't change anything. If I didn't experience what I did, I wouldn't know what I know now. Isn't
That's
that
true.
The truth?
See, there's
Yeah.
a lot to be said about that because I also feel like part of that is life experience. You
Yeah.
have to make those mistakes. You have to act in a certain way. You have to let youth fly by your head without you noticing it. That's part of your life experience. So I don't know if you would really change it because it changes who you are
That's true.
at core, right?
My grandma just recommends you live life to the fullest.
Every
Doing my best out here,
grandma.
Grandma.
Luna says, don't marry that guy.
You know who it is. You know who we're talking about.
So funny.
Oh, we all have 5 of them.
One last one and we're done. Jeff and Mary says, turn off the TV and go outside.
Yes.
Do that right now.
That
My
be,
girl.
Our advice to you.
Go on, get.
Today, an AZ After Show starts at 7:30 tomorrow morning. Thanks for partaking in the fun. There's lots of other good advice in the comments.
Yes, I like Robin's.
Love the one
Travel more while younger.
I could read these all day. Y'all are amazing.
We're not going to marry that guy, though, right now.
No.
It's a loser.
Maybe any guy. Who
Your mom's
knows?
right.
Thank you. Next.